Hi everybody, Robert Dyer, and welcome to the Robert Dyer channel, where tonight we are going to crown the world's champion ketchup. And this will be among ketchup that is commonly available, and I have already completed most of the testing over several months. And I've initially, as far as the semi-finals, I've tested Heinz Ketchup, Hunt's, and French's, and I can say that of those three brands that Heinz by far was the winner. So if you're just counting the commonly available grocery store ketchups, then Heinz is definitely the winner of those three. I had some fond memories of Hunt's from when I was a kid, but upon buying their latest product, I was very disappointed with the very bland flavor. French's was equally bland. It turns out that when it comes to ketchup, the most natural, organic recipe seems to make for a worse flavor. Then I came recently to a shocking conclusion after finishing testing the store brands. I put up Heinz against McDonald's house brand ketchup, the once famous fancy ketchup that now just says ketchup, but I found that it tastes, for fry dipping purposes, which is where most of this ketchup consumption is coming in, where it really matters, that McDonald's is now better than Heinz. I'm not sure what it is, but it seems like there's a little bit, either a little bit more sweetness in it, and probably a significantly less amount of vinegar. And there's also something, it has a characteristic that's very similar to Heinz, in that there's a very bright, ripe flavor, but I found that this is even brighter than the current recipe of Heinz, which seems to have, even just in the last year, something seems different about Heinz recipe. So I was prepared to declare McDonald's as the free and clear winner, but then I found this at the grocery store. This is H.J. Heinz Vintage 1896 recipe tomato ketchup, and it is made supposedly with only red ripe tomatoes, vinegar, salt, sugar, onion, garlic, and spices. And on the back it says, in 1896, Henry John Heinz created a richer, more savory version of his iconic ketchup and recorded it in his personal recipe book. This is kind of like going into the Prince and Michael Jackson vaults. H.J. Heinz Vintage follows his handwritten recipe, made with simple ingredients and a rougher cut tomato, consistent with techniques used at the turn of the century. Now, if you know me, I'm a great fan of anything vintage. When you're talking about the golden age of America, and this definitely seems to be trying to appeal to people like me. So what we're going to do is, I have a McDonald's meal here with the famous Big Mac, and of course America's favorite fries, and I'm going to put out the McDonald's ketchup here on one side of the dish, and then I'm going to take some of the 1896 recipe, and we're going to pour some of that in, and it looks like it's coming out. It's kind of like the old-fashioned slow-moving Heinz ketchup. Okay. My God, my God. Well, it certainly was hard to get ketchup out in the old days. Let me take a taste here. I have to say the aroma was very much a fresh tomato aroma. Well, it definitely has a little bit, if you can imagine a barbecue sauce that was missing some of the molasses element. It's kind of like that. I'm not sure what H.J. Heinz intended to use this for, considering he never took it out of his notebook. It's kind of, again, like the vaults. Did Michael Jackson or Prince or H.J. Heinz want us to find this recipe even? So now I'm going to try with America's favorite fries from McDonald's. I'm going to first try the McDonald's ketchup. Something McDonald's seems to excel at is their chefs pairing up sauce with a particular product. And now I'm going to try it with the Vintage 1896 ketchup from the H.J. Heinz vault. This is going to be a little more difficult than I thought. Let me try the McDonald's. Now let's try the 1896 again. My advice to Trump: never trust any man who's photographed with Karl Rove's arm around him. Well, I am somewhat surprised by the results of the test. This special vintage Heinz is really, it's sort of like putting an expensive craft beer into a light beer challenge. It's really sort of a different product. So I would say that rating them on their own, I would give each of these 5 stars. But the Heinz Vintage is really doing more than you expect from a ketchup. It's really a little bit more like a barbecue sauce without the, as I say, the molasses or the smoke element, but it's more of that type of, there's really, you notice the garlic and there's an almost peppery finish to it, like a black pepper aftertaste right at the end. And so I was surprised as to how good this is, and it does go very well with French fries, so I would recommend it for that. I just think as we're looking at more standard ketchup, that it's sort of a little bit outside of that category. So I'm going to give both of these 5 stars, but I'm going to say that McDonald's is the best traditional ketchup of the ones I've tested. And I have to say that I have filed an official complaint with YouTube about the shenanigans going on with my subscriber count. Has now been artificially deflated for I think we're getting on to 2 years here now. I'm trying to remember when it was that I got near 10,000. Was that 2016 or 17? I think it was 16. And so I've been stuck here 2 years between 10 and 12,400, whatever I have right now. And it is just not moving. And the pace of subscribers was very constant, consistent for all the years before that, and all of a sudden it ground to a halt, and I noticed that they take off so many people for every number of subscribers I get that I can just barely crawl forward. And I filed an official complaint, and they sent me back a bunch of malarkey things about that their subscriber counts are not always accurate. I've gotten complaints from subscribers who say they've been unsubscribed by YouTube against their will from my channel. And they were saying, oh, it just looks on their control panel like they've been unsubscribed. They're really still subscribed. Now, all this would be a very reasonable explanation if it was happening to Report of the Week and Casey Neistat and the Vlog Brothers, etc., etc. But, you know, the Logan Brothers, whoever you want to talk about, it's not happening for them. It is happening for my channel. So this is an ongoing scandal until we can get to the bottom of this. So I appreciate all of your support. They bring down a cap after my video goes up, so that after a certain number of views, whatever it gets to, the cap comes down, the comments stop, the views stop. You know, we've got Taco Bell, new products, stuck in the hundreds of views. I just did a Lunchable. Those are usually among my most popular items. That was stuck at maybe 600 something after almost a week. So this is totally fake news, fake YouTube. We're going to get to the bottom of this. And it's, I believe, if you look at the audience as a whole, it takes up this much space, and so everyone like me and other smaller YouTube channels, the more we get, the less is left for those favored channels like the Logan Brothers and the crap they put on. And so YouTube has to push us back in order to free up that audience again for their top channels. So we're going to get to the bottom of this. Hope you like this video. Share it with your friends. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.